All right, good morning, everybody, and welcome once again to Stock Analysis Friday. My name is Bennett McDowell with TradersCoach.com. It's great to have you here. All right, so we got Friday, September 13th, 2024. Let's hit it and go over a few administrational items and then get into the stock picks you want me to take a look at. All right, so I'm getting feedback that the audio and visual is okay. Thank you. Excellent. And yes, as Gene says, welcome everyone. And while people are still coming in, I'm just going to go over a few quick things here I want to cover. So let me get started on that. First thing I want to go over real quickly is the overall market. I'm going to start with the Dow Jones here. You know, regardless of what you hear out there, technically speaking, we're still in an uptrend. And yes, I agree that a bear market is around the corner, but it's not here yet. Follow the technicals, stay with your trade. The trend is always right, and therefore the market is always right, right? So you want to follow that market and prepare for later that the market may reverse. But in the meantime, you know, always focus in the realm of what the market is doing realistically or in reality, and it is still going up. All right, a couple of little things on this chart here. I cover this more in a subscription service called the Market Opportunity Report, where I update these charts on a weekly basis, along with a video and stock picks that we have. So I'll put a link below if you're interested in that type of thing. But short-term support's at 38,499.27. You can see the uptrend on the chart. We've got two trends pointing up. One is a longer-term situation, and one is a very shorter-term situation that starts back in October of 2023, and we're above them both. All right, yes, the market's going to go up, it's going to come down, it's going to breathe a little bit, but it hasn't come down enough to cause any concern. So long trades are okay right now, especially short-term long trades. If we dip below the first short-term support, you'll probably get stopped out of many of your trades if you're long. And that may not be a bad time to also think about what stocks in your longer term portfolio you may want to liquidate or cut back on or hedge against in case the market at that point is starting to roll over. But in any case, that's the overall market, still up. S&P, same exact situation. We have one of our indicators over here called the PTF. And it has a 75% accuracy rate, calling for more highs still left on the market. So I don't think we're done climbing. Same thing with the NASDAQ, okay? Green PTFs on both charts here heading on up. And when we look at this, basically what you're looking at is three different time frames, 60-minute on the left, daily in the center, and weekly. So kind of keep that in mind. All right, a little bit on risk control before we jump in. And as Gene says, yes, type in your stock and ETF picks. You can do that now in the comments area. And please use all caps, okay? All right, it helps me see it better. All right, in the disclaimer here. All right, quickly, no guarantees, all right? We deal in a realm of probability. So when I look at a stock for you and I say it looks like it's going to go here or here, I'm basing that off technical analysis, my experience in the market. I've been doing this for 30 years now. TradersCoach.com, we actually started back in the year 2000. So that's been in business now, 24 years. We actually started it in 1998, but didn't incorporate until 2000. And then I've been trading for quite a previous amount of time. I've worked for Morgan Stanley, Prudential Securities. So I've been in the business a long time, and risk control is very important. So don't forget that, okay? You have to trade with money you can afford to risk. You have to use risk control on your trades. and you have to work at it. Okay, trading's hard work. It's not easy. You have to become an expert not only in your methods but in price action. Okay, it's all about price action. So keep that in mind. All right. So, and also too, if I say something is good here or looks good to me, please check with your financial advisor and make sure it's suitable for you. I don't know your personal situation. Of course they do. All right. Now, if you're into day trading, which we are too, all right, you have an opportunity here to trade with other people's money. And we do that with Apex Trader Funding. It's a prop trading firm. I put a link up in the beginning here for that. If you want to start it, there's a coupon I put, which will give you about 80% off. So please use that so you're not paying the full situation there. Very, very reasonably priced, and they give you data too for the futures markets, live data. So we've been using it for quite some time, like it a lot, and I think you will too. All right, let me come out of here real quick and jump into a couple stocks, and I will get to yours in just a minute. I'm just going to cover GBTC, which is the ETF for Bitcoin. And, you know, the BTC contract is the most popular, but a lot of people, since we're going to stay with stocks and ETFs here, I'll focus on this ETF, which is GBTC. I do think higher highs are coming for Bitcoin. However, we have to make sure we got a bottom in here. We on the chart in the center, I'm just going to open this up really quickly and focus on the situation that we've had really since 2023 and 2024. This big move up here was an Elliott wave 3. Then we had an A, B, C. So we think 4 is in, but we'd like it to climb above here to confirm that. All right, so we'd like that price action to get above there. Now, if we go down again, make one more low, okay, all right, that should be it. And then we should climb again. So long term, we are bullish on Bitcoin. My target right now sits between 72,000 and 92,000. We lowered it a little bit because the correction was a little deeper, and it's sitting right in the Fibonacci wave 4 target zone, which is right here. So anytime the market comes down and goes into a target zone like this, you have an opportunity to buy. All right, it's a good buying point because you're not buying high, you're buying off the highs. And then if you're patient, we wait for the turnaround and go back up to the higher target zone. When do I think that's going to happen? Tough to say. All right, but as I said all along, probably towards the end of the year, maybe into 2025. But, you know, we still have a few months left, and this thing could turn around real quick. So you just got to be a little patient, okay? But I think there's a buying opportunity there, and please do it with money you can afford to risk. Don't bet the farm, because then you'll have a weak hand and you'll get squeezed out if they happen to bring it down one more time. All right, let's go. All right, Stuart is here. Stuart is in the house, as to say. Oh, Tesla. I'm so glad you're going to take a look at Tesla. Now, Tesla is one we've recommended, you know, for quite some time. All right, looks like the screen went black there for some reason. Don't ask me why, but let me get that back up. You're seeing a black screen, right? All right, so let's try that again. I don't know why that happened. All right, give me a sec. Must have hit some button there. All right, you should have it back now. Okay, all right, sorry about that. All right, clumsy fingers on my part. I probably hit something, a key that I should have. All right, so Tesla, let's open up that weekly chart. Take a look at the long-term aspect. And, you know, just like Bitcoin, you had that big run up, 3. All right, we had an ABC wave 4 down here. All right, and now we think the target starts here for wave 5. Now, that target there, that's Fibonacci extension, is 352 to 507. Most wave 5s do go above wave 3. And if you look at this indicator down here that's green, this is called the PTF, 75% accuracy rate, calling for highs. Now, what kind of highs? Well, you take the highest price in the green area, basically, and that's where it's shooting for. So I'm calling for a target on this of probably a little bit above 400, maybe let's say 425. All right. And I think that's kind of what we're looking at here for this. And I think it's a good buy right now. So I'm going to keep Tesla on the buy list. And then the next question is, where do you put your stop? I think you got a couple opportunities. You can put it down here, or you can put it here. All right. Lower the better, but the lower will reduce your trade size. So I'll let you make the call on that. All right. And in terms of prices, let me bring up the data box. That opened up on another screen there. So this low here for a possible stop, your first one is 138.80. So under that, 138.79, or you can get a little more. All right, this low here is 101.81, so 101.80 or a little below there. So that's kind of where I put it. That's too low, all right? Now you can do options as well, all right? So if the stop's too far away for any type of meaningful trade size, then play an option on it. Just make sure the amount you pay for the option is the amount you can afford to risk. All right, so that's Tesla. That's a buy today. We had it on a buy last week as well. Amazon. All right, let's bring up Amazon's long-term chart. This is one we looked at a while ago here. And what I want you to take away on this one is that we're in the wave 5 target zone, but doesn't look an awful lot like some of those others. So wave 3, all right, A, B, C, 4, and guess what? 5 target zone was hit. All right, so again, could it go back into the target zone? Sure, but this is not where I want to get in. So this is a no-go for today, okay? Stuart, I know you own them all, but it may be time to depart on this one. You hit the long-term pyramid, it's taken everybody out. You've got another boost up to get out again, just above that pyramid. So no harm there. And you may want to kind of think about it. If you want to zero in on the short-term charts to help you manage it a little better, you certainly could. You could put a stop under here and see if we make one more high on that. But basically the juice is depleting. We got bearish divergence on the weekly chart. So, you know, just think about that. The high on that target is 253, but that's the upper range. So it's done everything we can hope it will do for right now. Another way you could do it is just simply draw a trend line, okay? You could take this move up here, start here, and draw a trend line like that, okay? You could even, if you really want a shorter term trend line, you draw it here. All right, and if it pierces that, maybe you dump half your position. If it pierces the other trend line, you dump the other half. Anyway, I'll let you manage that as you see fit, but there it is, okay? All right, Google. Tesla's a much better opportunity right now. All right, so on Google here, we got green PTF on the far right-hand chart, so it looks like we will make another high. We now have a green one too on the 60-minute, which is a chart on the far left, but we are still coming down. We're seeing a little bit of a turn up here. This is a little different because on this one here, what we have here, this looks like a wave 3, 4, 5, but what happened is this oscillator or histogram here, which is called the OWL, which helps count major Elliott waves, is now calling this a wave 3 because it is higher here. So the key to take away is there's no bearish divergence here. You see that? There's no bearish divergence. And when this peaks above that, then this becomes the new wave 3. So you're probably in some type of move down. You may go down to around 120 or so. Let's just draw a quick fib in here and see where a possible resting point could be for this. You already hit it. So anywhere from 151 to 125, okay? And we should get a rebound off that. All right, so that's kind of where that is now. So if you want to hold Google a little longer, you could. But again, I'll leave that management up to you and how you want to handle that. All right, so there you have that. Google's on your watch list. So I don't think I'd buy it yet. Okay, it's still, here's the way I would play that, by the way. I thought you were already in this, but since you're not, draw a trend line here, okay? when we break that trend line, and also too, price action here, if we come up, down, and here, then that's a buy when it clears that. If it clears here, all right, then that's a good sign too. So I take a look at it next week, but maybe that's close to a buy, but I would hold off just a little bit until we have price confirmation. We don't yet have that. All right, Jim Blue, how are you, buddy? Jim is a day trading pal. We have a day trading room, so he's a member of the day trading room. All right, USO. All right, let's take a look at that. That's a good one to look at. All right, so let me bring up the long-term chart there. Okay, so we had a bounce off this major bottom here, and that was back in 2020. Rose up, all right, corrected nicely, all right, took out this fractal pyramid over here. That's part of our software as well, and has since kind of been range bound. All right, not uncommon for that to happen. All right, you could even draw kind of a pennant almost in there, but we want to see now if this bottom holds. So we're not going to put this on the recommended list at this point. If you're in it, many people are. We had it on the recommended list earlier. You know, you're probably either got to stop here, and if you have your stop here, you're probably biting your nails. If you have it here, all right, then you're a little bit more at ease, but that bottom's got to hold, all right? Will it hold? We'll see, okay? But, you know, this is our target, and that still hasn't changed much. That's 100 to 126, but right now we got to make sure that bottom holds, and we have been coming down. So I don't want to put anybody in this right now until we get some form of movement back to the upside. So we'll keep an eye on that. If you're in it already, hang tight and use those stops. All right, VOO. Voodoo, right? VOO. Let's see what we got here. All right. I don't know if you're long or short on these. And folks, let me know what you're doing. If you give me a symbol, let me know if it's something you're thinking about or you're long or short. That way I can customize the analysis for you. All right, so VOO, we got a green PTF over here. Again, if you just simply draw a trend line up here, you'll see it right here. We have an indicator called the trend line master down here. I've got the trend lines turned off, but you can see it's green here on the ribbon. Gives you a ribbon and a trend line. So if you're in it, you just stay in it. If you're thinking about going in it, I'd say you're a little late to the party. You've already got a fairly extended trend up. So I would use that trend line there. Now, if you want a tighter trend line, then all you have to do is go from here to here and do that, okay? So VOO. I'm not recommending that for new people, but if you're in it, then okay. All right, IWM. Let's take a look at IWM. All right, this is kind of one where you got to give it some leeway because it's you know, even though it's you know, wedging up. Let's open up this daily chart for a minute. Even though it's wedging up like this, I mean, you certainly can see here, you know, how messy. Look at the channel, big channel. You know, if you want to draw a more accurate channel, you grab this tool here, run it down here, and that's the kind of channel that's very difficult to trade because there's so much volatility. It's an uptrend, but it's a wide uptrend. All right. I don't usually like these. All right. And it's been messy. Notice how clean this run up here was. And then it got messy ever since after. So, you know, that's kind of a difficult one. Let's see if the weekly charts kind of can give us a little help on that. Okay, not sure where that one went. All right, so let's see here. All right, there's your COVID bounce back. You know, we haven't cleared the high of that, which is kind of interesting. And again, you know, if you look at the broad base, if this is a 3 top, you know, A, B, C could unfold, or maybe we continue back up. Maybe the ABC is in here. Not my favorite. I wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole. All right. It's just not a good one right now to be in. All right, so let's go back and take a look at Stuart's back here with SFIX. I don't know what exactly happened with my charts. There they go. All right. So on this one here, we looked at this before. We were kind of waiting for a breakout, if I recall. And let's open up the weekly chart first. And way up and way down. Okay, so we're kind of scraping along the bottom here. Let's focus in on that a little bit better. All right, so in the last 2 weeks, we did clear this high. That's really good, but then notice it pulled back. So the thing about channels you got to be really careful about is 80% of the time, 80% of the breakouts are false, and it goes back into the channel. So you need to see some real follow through here. So if this pyramid gets hit here, this will be a P pyramid. But let's see if we get above this point here with some follow through. So I would put this on a watch list for sure. All right, that's one possibility. I don't know if you're in it because you didn't tell me if you're in it or not. But at this particular point, short-term trade based off an hourly chart over here has you long, okay, and a breakout. So that's a good sign. We just want to see some follow through, okay? All right. Good one. Okay, that was good. All right, I do want to look at a couple more. UNG, I wanted to share with you because we're here for about a half an hour. So let's just go over some here, and then you go ahead and type in ones that you want me to look at. But on UNG, this is the ETF for natural gas, and we're starting to see some life come into this. And I wanted to bring this up and focus on that. And one of the things that I'm seeing on this, let me just get it way in here like this. All right. So natural gas has been coming down for quite some time. And it recently made a new low in August. And then it popped up, and then it almost made another new low late in August, early September. Then it popped back up. So we're starting to see a classic double bottom possibly forming here. 1, 2. Now, we also have a channel, okay, here and here. And remember what I said with a channel? 80% of the pop outs when they break out are fake. All right, so we want to see some follow through on this. Our indicators are giving us a good green light that we should get some follow through when it does break out. So I'm kind of keeping an eye on this. I'm not going to recommend it yet because we don't technically have a breakout on this time frame, and we need it on this time frame. So if we get a breakout, I think that might be a good one. A breakout with follow through. Let me just rephrase that. That might be a good one to think about going into and actually holding it for quite some time. All right. Now on this chart here, okay, notice you can see the channel even on the center chart, which is our 1 minute chart. So basically in green PTFs on those short-term time frames as well. So that's one I think that everybody should put on their watch list, UNG, keep an eye on it, okay? TLT is another one we're keeping an eye on. This is the ETF for bonds, all right? And I'm gonna open up the weekly chart for this one. And we're seeing a little bit of a breakout on a bottom here. My problem with this one is any move up is only gonna be, according to this indicator here, is red. All right, now if this changes to green abruptly at some point, all right, that's different. But right now it's red. So any move up has to be considered only a correction in a downtrend. If this is green, then we might be looking at a new trend up. So I'm thinking maybe we get up there to maybe 110, 128. All right, before we see any type of reversal back to the downside. And if we look at the daily chart here, all right, we can see some of these are tradable trends. But here's what I want to point out, and this is why I value the PTF so much, is here's what looked like a really good low way back in 2022. I think it was October. We had a nice move up, but look at the PTF, it's red, indicating that any move up is temporary. And you know, a lot of people were going long here thinking the bottom was in, and then look what happened. And when the PTF turns yellow, that means the momentum wasn't strong enough to keep it red. But then it turned red again, all right? And it made one more low and turned it yellow. So now we got things a little bit more bullishness on this time frame. So you could have traded this now to the upside. And if you are in it, once again, all right, you got the pyramids to tell you where to get out, but you also have multiple trend lines that you could use in order to get you out before it reverses. And the ultimate support level is right here, okay? So that's kind of how you want to use that. But I would be very careful about going into TLT for more than just it's not a buy and hold. Let's just say that, okay? All right, so we're coming to the end of the time here. All right, so I want to thank everybody for coming today. I think we got to everybody's market. I'm going to put Tesla up as the winner. All right, so that was a winner. We still like that one. Let me just put that one back up. And Stuart, I think that was yours for this week. And I think we looked at that last week. Once again, our target on Tesla is going to be the high right where my arrow is on that chart on the right. So it says 414.50. So about 414.50 is the target. And we're at 230. So that's a nice gain. Now, it's not going to happen overnight, but it should happen. All right. So that's more of a longer term trade where you hold it. Now, a lot of the market is looking like that right now. All right. So there's bargains out there. Don't get sucked into stocks that have trended up for so long that there's more risk going long than going short, so to speak. So you want to look for stocks that have value, that our value in technical analysis is looking to see what the overall long-term trend is and see where prices are in relation to that trend. And it usually means a pullback of some sort in order to get you in at the best possible price. All right, let's see. UNG is another one we're going to put on our watch list and keep an eye on that. That's the ETF for natural gas. All right, well, thank you, everybody. I'm going to put it, I guess I'll put it really quickly on some of the intraday time frames. And these are always fun to watch. And we got some selling. This is the natural gas NG market. But let's go over to something more familiar to everybody like the MES, all right, and even the NASDAQ. All right, a lot of people, I trade the NASDAQ. I like the NASDAQ. So I'll leave it right here, okay? Again, kind of a little bit messy here. And right now, I wouldn't want to be in that market, okay? I'd be standing aside. I wait for specific types of setups before doing anything on this. And so those setups are not present here yet, okay? So kind of consolidating, bracketed. We'll see which way it breaks eventually. All right, so that is it. Oh, yes, give us a like here. All right, and we'll see you next week, okay? Thanks so much, everybody. Have a great weekend and a good weekend if you're traveling anywhere safely, of course. And thanks for tuning in. Have a good one.